Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the USVI Grow with Google webinar series. The VI SBDC has collaborated with Grow with Google to present this series of 3 webinars to help you take your business to the next level. Today, we are hosting the second webinar within the series. Let me introduce our presenter for today, Mr. Gregory Kolpatch. Greg Kolpatch is an accomplished entrepreneur and currently a business advisor with the VI SBDC in St. Croix, providing emerging and existing small businesses with high quality professional counseling and training. After graduation from the Citadel in 1979, Greg spent the next 8 years as an Army officer aviator in Central America and Asia in strategic planning, crisis management, and critical thinking. Upon completing military obligations, he founded a successful and specialized consultancy firm that identified and developed select, successful emerging businesses into national and international franchises. Greg also has a 17-year relationship with the SBA as a SCORE counselor. Bilingual in Spanish, Greg cherishes the many diverse business and cultural experiences gained from living and working around the world. His motto is, what can be measured can't be managed. Without further ado, Greg, the floor is yours. But just a friendly reminder to please put your questions in the chat and they will be addressed immediately after the presentation.
I'm sorry, I think I am good to go now. Everyone should be able to hear me. Can I get a check on that?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you all. Sorry for that delay, but welcome. Welcome to our Grow with Google series. Today we're going to talk about making decisions, better decisions with analytics. Okay? I'm Greg Kolpatch. I've been here with the SBDC about 3.5 years now. I work out of our St. Croix office. And today we're going to discuss how we can make more strategic business decisions with insights that we gain from analytics. And to translate that a little bit, what we're going to do today, we learned a lot during COVID. We have got to start making some smarter decisions, different decisions, and by analyzing some of this data in our business and with this Google platform, we're going to be able to do some of that and make some better business decisions. Okay? Now, getting the data is not the problem anymore. We know that we have statistics and data everywhere. It's everywhere around us, okay? But what we're going to do, and what Google has done, they've taken all the data and they've kind of grouped it and made it, rearranged it, they've made it a little bit more manageable for us business owners to use it, to interpret it, to understand it, okay? So yes, we'll see a lot of numbers and statistics, but we're going to be looking for the patterns inside of that, those themes, the interconnections, okay? So we can get closer to a decision that will affect our business positively. That quote you've got up there, let me scoot my thing here. That quote just reminds us that getting data is not the problem. We already have it, okay? We already have it. What we need to do is glean the insights from the data, and that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? The ultimate goal here is going to be to sift through this, okay, and to provide us with some insights. Okay? We want some insights. We want to glean something that we've never gleaned from our business. And by the way, with this platform, you will see that we will be able to do that. We're going to actually see how people arrive at our business on our website. Okay? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about analytics. We're not actually going to analyze today, but we're going to talk about this platform and how it can help us in our business. Okay? So again, we're looking for these insights. So let's define what an insight is. Okay? An insight is something that helps us create a better, a more effective solution to our business. Okay? And it could be something surrounding an idea, a new product line, a plan for social media, how to drive more people to our website. Okay? If you ask 100 people what an insight is, you'll probably get 100 different answers. Okay? But what's clear, what's really clear to us as business owners is that when we go to look for insights, okay, we are looking for just that. We're not just looking for data. Okay? The data is there. We have to sift through it. Remember, we have to look at the patterns in there, the themes. Okay? So how do we find this? Okay, how do we find these insights? Well, let's look at a couple terms here. We know what the data is. That's just all the information, the demographics, all the statistics. Okay? The analytics, okay? These are the patterns and the trends that are discovered in all of those numbers and statistics. Okay? So you got the data, that's the numbers, the analytics that are the patterns and the trends. Okay? And then you have the insight. Okay? This is the value that we gain from the data and the analytics. Think of it as 1, 2, 3. Data, analytics, insight. And let's use an example of those three. Let's say that under the data, you found out you had 1,500 site visits to your website in the last 30 days. Okay, that's data. It's raw numbers. But let's drill down a little bit. Let's go to the analytics part. Let's analyze the data a little bit. Well, now we find out that 30% of those 1,500 site visits came from mobile devices. Okay? See now the pattern? We have the raw data. Now we're looking at analyzing it. Now we know that 30% of those web hits, people signed on with a mobile device. Okay? Now, the insight. Well, think about this. We have 1,500 hits. 30% are accessing from our mobile device. Nearly half. Okay? And we look at that and say, when we look at the site visits and the people, we say, oh my goodness, the insight here, we now have an insight that these folks with the mobile devices are more likely to convert. Everyone else is bouncing off the website. The mobile folks are staying on. They're re-hitting the website. Okay? So that's kind of a sterilized example, going from data to insight. Okay? And understand, this kind of stuff can be overwhelming too. There's really a lot of data that's already out there. Okay? So we want to tailor this to our business, okay? And we want to look at those things that we need to do in our business. Those are the insights that we want to glean. Okay? So for this class, what we're going to do, we're going to think of it as we're going to break it down into 2 parts. Okay? First part of the class, we're going to just discuss what data is and how we use it just to drive decisions, okay? We're gonna just discuss what data is and how we use it, okay? Then, for the second part, we're gonna go into the basics of this analytics, okay? And start to understand how to start collecting this data so that we can glean the insights, okay? We'll look at, there are some reports out there that we're gonna look at. They're gonna answer questions about our customers. They're gonna answer questions about our customers' behavior on our website. And we're even gonna show you some advanced reports and how we can, make this Google Analytics, even combine it with some of the other Google products. Like there's another product called Google Ads out there that we'll talk about, okay? So, this is a 1-hour course. Please put your seatbelt on. We've got a lot of slides. We're going to do a lot of looking and reading the screen. I'll probably be doing most of the talking for the presentation. Then we want to wrap it up, okay? And then we want some Q&A. And then we'll show you a few of the final resources, how to get, actually how to engage Google with this free program. Okay, so that's kind of the plan for today. 2 parts. First one, we're going to just talk about data. Then we're going to go into this analytics stuff and see how to collect it. Okay? So, again, welcome to the SBDC. If you're a first-timer with the SBDC, we appreciate you coming out this afternoon. We have a complete website at the SBDC. At the very end of this presentation, we'll show you how to work with the SBDC as well and how to sign on with us as a client. We are business developers. We cover the entire territory, and our advising services are free of charge. Okay? So, Google Analytics, what is this? Okay, well, again, it's free, okay? It's free, and it's pretty popular out there. It's pretty popular out there on the small business front, okay? And what it does, it just helps us understand customer experience, customer behavior. It provides us the data we need, okay, to understand the customers, okay? And again, if you remember 1, 2, 3, we're going to take the data, we're going to analyze it, and then we're going to glean the insights. Okay? Data, analysis, insight. So why use it? Well, there's lots of reasons to use it. The biggest reason I can think of why, not only why to use this, but why small businesses in this territory should begin using it now. And that's because of COVID. We have never in small business seen anything like we saw in COVID. And if we have an opportunity to make smarter business decisions, our answer is yes. We've got to. We lost a lot of businesses during COVID. And I'll tell you something else too that we learned. We learned that not every business had an online presence during COVID. We also learned that there were over 100 businesses that had to close in this territory. Online presence for business, I would put that lesson up there in the top 3 that the SBDC learned during COVID. So it's free. We should use it. We've got folks using it. We, the SBDC, are a resource to assist you in using it. So take a hard look at it. It may very well put money on the bottom line. Okay. So there's this thing comes with a language of its own. Okay, it's got search terms that it uses. It's got different formats for the content. And as we use it, we get to learn the format and the instructions and just the guidelines for capitalizing on this new platform. It's not unlike learning any other thing like a QuickBooks or anything like that. Okay? So it just helps us look for useful ways to address our customers, to segment them. Okay? It lets us evaluate which channels drive people to our website. Okay? In the earlier example, it was mobile devices. Okay? So that's why we want to use it. Yeah, it starts with data, it's a lot of stuff, and it's a little bit of work. But again, it could be very profitable for us. Okay? So here's the screen here. Here's how we just get this set up. We just go into g.co/analytics. We create a sign in to our account like we would do, anywhere to sign into anything. There, they make it very, very user friendly. Okay, now a little note here. There are currently multiple versions of this Google Analytics. Okay, if you're already set up, okay, and you did that say before October of last year, okay, that's an older version. They actually call that Universal Analytics. Okay, but if you set up after October 2020, or if you're just setting it up for the first time, you're going to see the new version, and it's going to be called Google Analytics 4 or GA4 for short. Okay, we can still use all these older versions, that's fine. Okay, the system will talk you through it. Okay, there are some minor changes though in the Google 4 version. And the instructions take you through it. As you're doing it, if you have any issues, you can call the SBDC. We will take you through it. There's also I think there's a live chat line with Google that will help you as well. But user friendly. Okay? So now, once we've created this thing and signed into it, we get to see a dashboard, and there's some links in there to reports. Okay? These reports it just lets us visualize data about our customers. Okay, there's some default reports in there. This thing is a very robust platform. It's got lots of stuff in it. There's snapshots. The right-hand side, okay, there's this little thing called Analytics Intelligence on your right-hand side of the screen there. So that actually drills down a little bit deeper. It helps you learn, at least to better understand, and how to act on data. The intelligence part in there too, that tells us also actually how to create reports. Okay? So you can see that you don't just hop onto this thing the first day and then publish your reports and you're done. This is a system that we learn, and this is something that we will want to learn. Because remember the trending. Remember the trends. We want to look for patterns and trends over time. That's how we want to grow the business, and that's where we're going to get our insights from. That's where we're going to get the insights from. Okay, so you're beginning to see this is a robust platform. It's user-friendly, but there's a little bit to do here once to get ramped up. Okay? Finding answers with reports. Okay? Now, for this part of the thing, we're going to meet Eva and Ricky, and we're going to use a small business example to take you through some of this stuff. So there's Eva and Ricky up there. They're small business owners, and what they do, they sell clothes. They have a clothes store, but it's an online clothing store. Okay? And up until now, Eva and Ricky, all the decisions for their business, they've made them from their gut. And we all know what a gut instinct decision is. We've all made them. Okay? But even Ricky said, you know, let's set up Google Analytics. Let's see if we can get a better understanding here of what's working, what's not working in their store, and try to make a little bit better informed decisions. So they're going to go on with they're going to sign on with Google Analytics. Okay? And we're going to see how this works out for them. So, Eva and Ricky, they designed a new t-shirt, okay? And they want to sell this new t-shirt in their store, okay? And they've thought about this. They've experimented before with different other designs. They liked one, but didn't like the other. But they found one, and they said, you know what? We're adding this to the website right now. These t-shirts are the bee's knees. That's the one that's going on the site. Okay? And gut instinct told them that this design was, you know what, this is going to be the best seller. Their gut told them that. Okay? But we know that sometimes making that decision on the gut is not always the best one. Okay? And maybe it's better to look at some data. Okay? They can tell if that t-shirt's selling. All they got to do is, look at their sales. Okay? But if they don't have any data, they're missing out on some potentially useful information. And worse than that, they could actually make some incorrect assumptions about what was working, what was not working, and then it's possible to even jeopardize the success of that. So they decide they want data, they want to make some better decisions. Okay? So that's where this Google Analytics can help. Okay? The data from these reports, it just helps Eva and Ricky learn a little bit more about their visitors on the site, what they're doing on the site, and what they're not doing on the site. Okay? So how can they, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you get a little closer to your mic? The audience is having a hard time hearing you, so we can.
Let me try something.
Okay.
Is this better? Did anything change in this sentence? Am I
Not
loud?
really, but I guess you could just project a little louder.
Okay.
Tap into the military side of things.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'll try to, all right, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So, okay, so we're back to Eva and Ricky. Okay, so how can they figure this out? How do they know what the right decision is? Well, they start by outlining some goals. Okay? Okay, what are the outcomes? What outcome do we want? What do we want to improve? Do we want to increase web traffic? Okay, whatever it is, that's what we're trying to nail down. We want to start by outlining the goals, what we are trying to achieve. Okay? Now, the second thing that we want to do is we need to know what questions to ask. Because we need to know what information we need to achieve the goal. Okay? So we have to know which questions to ask. And by the way, the asking question part is very important. Okay? That the questions need to direct every bit of energy to gathering the data that we need to glean that insight. So the questions that we are going to formulate are going to be very, very serious. They're going to help us ultimately get to that insight, that actionable insight. So starting with the goals, and start with an outcome in mind. What is it we want to happen? What are we trying to achieve? Okay? And then once we define that, okay, everything that we do should support our goals. Now, there's an old saying that says, the definition of an obstacle is what you see when you take your eyes off of the goal. Okay, so everything we do once we define the goal, okay, must support the goal, or we shouldn't be doing it. Now, this SMART framework on the left, this SMART, this is a very good framework. It's easy to understand and it's effective. Okay, it's not just an acronym out there. Think about this. Is it specific? Can you track it? Is it measurable? Okay? And by the way, is it even attainable? Are we setting reasonable goals? Okay? Is it relevant? And lastly, we always want to put a time frame in there when we talk about goals. Goals need to be time sensitive as well. So here's an example of how Eva and Ricky here's how they might set their goal for their store. They want to decrease shopping cart abandonment to less than 60% in the next quarter. Okay? So that's when you're on the site and you're buying stuff and you load it up and you got 2 or 3 items in there, and rather than get the credit card and complete the transaction, you go off the site. You've abandoned the shopping cart. Well, Eva and Ricky have a problem with that, and they're trying to lower that to less than 60%. Okay? So they could use this Google Analytics. They could find out how many users added items to the cart over a period of time. Okay? And they could compare that to the total transactions the same period. Okay? That's how we would calculate that abandonment rate. So then, but then they still haven't reached their goal. They're just kind of still defining it. But then they might experiment with modifications to that checkout. For example, they might learn that by simplifying that site between the actual product and the selection to place in the cart, by maybe even reducing the number of steps, okay, that they can lower the abandonment rate. If it's cumbersome, they might take out a step or 2. They might improve the load time for the web page. Maybe people might be leaving because it takes too long. But you're beginning to see now how we can set the goal, okay, and we can actually drill down and start to analyze some of this data, okay, and glean some insights, okay? So, when it comes to goals, okay, you and your business should have goals. They should be written down. A lot of times we put in our business plans our business goals, short-term and long-term, okay? For business owners, think about the goals that you might have for your business. Think about the ones that you want to really work on. Think about the ones that Google Analytics could be used for. I mean, look at that screen. Look at those ideas. You want to increase your leads? Well, maybe your appointment book is a little light. You need to increase appointments. Okay? Foot traffic into the store. Maybe you notice it's really down. So these are all ideas on how to use Google Analytics. Okay? I can't stress the importance of writing down these goals too. It's very important that we write things down. Okay, so we've got a goal. We want to reduce that abandonment, that shopping cart. Well, now that we've defined the goal, okay? We now have to figure out what questions to ask to get the answers, okay? So look at some of the examples of those questions. You're looking at the slide there that shows, you know, the stages of a business relationship with their customers. How do we reach them initially, right? After they come in, how do we engage them? Are we able to find what they're looking for? Okay? Okay, and then it's conversion time. Okay? Conversion time is when we convert them to a customer. Okay? We're converting them, that lead, that foot traffic, to a customer. That is the conversion. Okay? And ultimately, we want to sustain those customers. Okay? It's much, much easier to keep them than to get a new one. And we know that's another lesson we learned during COVID as well. The customers you have that kept us alive during COVID are very, very special customers. So we should really, when we actually have a moment, we should actually, that may be one of our insights. A lot of the reason a lot of small businesses are still here during COVID is naturally because of that customer base that supported them. So it certainly speaks to how important they are. So, and this Google Analytics, this will let us drill down a little bit deeper to see their behavior. Okay, so now we've got some reach questions. What are the people looking for when they come? Okay? For Eva and Ricky, you know, Eva and Ricky might say, well, what are these people looking for? Who's looking for it? How do they find us? How do they find our website? Okay? We have to know that before we figure out how to, you know, reduce our shopping cart abandonment rate. Okay? So they will find the clues, okay, that'll lead them to, you know, just try to examine the website, okay? These reach questions. Look about the engaged questions. This just involves how people who find us interact with our site. And therein, there could be a lot of opportunities in there. The website being one, okay? It could be a clumsy website. We might get that engagement and never see a conversion. Okay? Some other questions. Do people navigate to more than one page of our website? Do they watch our videos? Okay? Do they search for things on our site? Do they download specific PDFs that we're wanting them to download? An information sheet? You know, if you're a restaurant, did they download your menu? Okay? So these are the questions. These are all the engaged questions. Can they easily find our products and services? Can they create accounts? Can they create easy accounts and just check out? Okay? Now we've got some convert questions. Okay? Remember, conversions turn the visitors into paying customers. That's what the conversion is. Okay? So we have to figure out these convert questions. That's what's going to help us find out how this happens. How is someone converted? Okay? Because they don't always purchase. They don't always take further action. Okay? And they don't always sign up for the newsletter or download the PDF. So we need to find out what we want, set a very specific goal about it, and then go about constructing these questions. And ultimately, we will go to the reports to get answers to the questions to glean the insights. the actionable insights. Okay? So these are the kind of questions, conversion questions. How can we improve that shopping cart? What social media channel drives the most people to our website? That's kind of a good question. We should know that. Okay. What about coupons? There's a lot going on with coupons. Do they help us increase our orders? We don't know. We may or may not use them. What types of coupons are the most effective out there? So lots of questions. Lots and lots of questions. The key is in constructing these questions so that we can go to the reports to find the answers. Okay? So the sustainability questions. So, ultimately, we want to just convince customers. We'd love to convince every customer to be a loyal customer to us. To continue to interact, stay with us on the website, advocate it to other people, send us business, blah, blah, blah. Perfect world. But we should understand that a little bit better, okay? We need to know what everyone is saying about us. What are our customers saying about us online? Do they like the products and services? What do they wish that we did better? Do we have a place to even let them submit ideas or suggestions? Okay. So for Eva and Ricky today, okay, to meet their goal for their store, they might ask, what are the people saying about my online clothing store? Do they like it? What are they saying about it? Okay? And there's a bunch of other sustained questions that people could ask. Let's say somebody bought a shirt with a specific design on it. Well, what if they might like that in a different color? Does it come in different color? This is all interaction with customers and websites set up, again, to answer the questions, what are people saying about it? Who are the loyal ones? Who are my repeat ones? How can I reward them? If people are writing online reviews about my business, where are they being published? Because I'd like to read them. We need to know about that. Okay? And, are there any other places online where, our business could benefit from more reviews? That's an interesting question as well. Okay, so we've got the questions, we've mapped out the questions, so now it's time to figure out where to find those answers. Okay? And this platform, this Google Analytics, it offers a lot of reports, okay? And today, here's just 6 categories of the reports that you have when you start your account with Google Analytics. Look at some of this. There's a real-time report, what's happening right now. There's acquisition reports. There's retention. How frequently are people coming on? Okay? Now again, these are the brackets of reports. This is getting pretty interesting now. Okay? Remember, we had to construct the questions in order to achieve our goal. Now we're figuring out which reports to use to get the answers to our questions. Okay? And there are the 6 major categories right there. Okay, and once again, remember about the different versions. And remember, if you sign up before October of last year, those reports will be named a little differently. Okay? Remember, that was called Universal Analytics. That's the older version. Okay? That's just an FYI. But now we'll take a look at the new reports, starting with that real-time report. okay? This thing lets you monitor what's happening right now on your website. And I'm talking, this is really data here. Now check this out. This report, okay, this will actually show you the number of users during the last 30 minutes on your website by the minute. Now, are you beginning to see now the detail we have at our fingertips? That real-time report's going to show us whether they're a new user, okay? It's going to tell us where the users are coming from. Okay, so lots and lots and lots of data here. Lots of data that we're going to have to drill through. And that's just the real-time report. The acquisition report. This shows about how the users arrive on the website. This is about how they find us. Okay? Traffic dimensions. Like where did they come from? The source. Okay, this helps us understand how they found our site. This is interesting. That third report, look, the engagement report. This one measures engagement, the interaction between the customer and the website. How many pages did they look at? Okay? You can check to check account balance. You can view product details. How much time did they spend on a particular product page? Or that new T-shirt that we wanted to roll out that we put the video on? Did we convert them to watch our video? Okay? Or download a PDF information. Whatever it is we are trying to get them to do, this is going to tell us. And this gets very, very, very detailed, these reports, as you can see. Monetization. Another one of those six categories of reports. Okay? If you've got an e-commerce website, okay, then you will use this report. Okay? This is the report that tells you if people are buying your stuff. Okay? This measures purchases, subscription revenue, and things like that. And this can actually help you enhance your strategy. The monetization report. The retention reports. Okay? How frequently and for how long do users engage our website or our mobile app after their first visit? Okay? Again, retention means that we want them back. And the answer to this report is, do people come back to our website? Okay? And this report tells us, when do they come back? For how long do they come back? And what do these return visitors do on our website? Okay? This is a very useful metric. Okay? Very, very useful. Okay? And again, this is data in the report. This is not absolute truth. Okay? And only because technology is not completely error-proof. But these are very useful metrics. Very useful. Demographic. The who. Okay? And we're talking here by age. We get to see who is visiting our business, how old they are, where they are visiting our business from, what language they speak, what sex they are, what interests they have, what other type of online transactions and purchasing do they do. Okay? This again, very interesting website. Okay, this report section here, this thing includes charts, diagrams, tables, everything to help you visualize this data, to visualize it. Okay, so we talked about the 6 reports. We're looking at the screen there with gut instincts versus data. Okay? Just want you to read through that slide for just a second there. Okay? Now, this slide again, this is an important slide. Okay? And when Eva and Ricky started to go out and do a little bit more work, okay, they realized something. They realized a couple things, actually. Number one, they had their audience way off, right? When they looked at the analytics, boy, they got a whole different set of customer data, okay? They also saw that most of their purchases, you know, were from brand new customers and first-time visitors. Okay? Not loyal customers. Not the ones they thought were loyal. People are buying stuff from them who have never bought before. Now, are you beginning to understand that word insight a little bit better now? Okay? That insight alone, when Eva and Ricky did that work, I'll tell you, if they're smart, and they are, they'll change their business, and it will reflect in their profit and loss statement. And that's what we do as prudent business owners. We can afford to move off of gut instincts. We can afford to do a little bit more work and analysis, and come up with a decision that, you know, could potentially really change our life rather than another gut decision. Okay? Now, this program has got some advanced features in it too, a bunch of them, and we'll just kind of scan through here and look through it. This word dimensions and secondary dimensions. This is another description for data. Okay? An example here would be the dimension city. Okay? Use the city as a dimension. That describes the city, you know, where a user is. It could be in Atlanta, Chicago, Albany. Okay? Another dimension could be the device that's being used to engage the business. It could be a browser, the browser being used. So there's primary dimensions, and then there's secondary. We're getting a little bit advanced here, but you can see that there is the potential here to drill down even deeper. Okay? Here's a little bit more on secondary dimensions. When we get to this point, let's work together on this. If you're using analytics and you run into a question mark, give the SBDC a call. And we'll get through this. We have many clients already using Google Analytics. So if you're not, by the way, if you're not a client of ours, please consider it. We do have some clients who would be pleased to assist in helping others with this Google Analytics. It's a very, very interesting program. And you can see how detailed it is. Segments. Okay, these are more subsets of our data. Okay? So what we're doing is we're taking data and we're drilling down. We're isolating data. okay? We're putting it into different groups, and then we're comparing different groups. In this case, they call them segments. It's just another word for a systematized way to approach the data. Again, we have the data, we have too much of it. We are looking for patterns and trends in the data of our business so that we can glean those actionable insights. Remember the 1, 2, 3. Data, analysis, insight. And yet again, we have an exploration to even go even further. We can, boy, with this thing, we can attach little search items to it. We can search different pieces of it. It really, really gets us to drill down even more. We can sort data. We can share explorations with other users, who have access to the program. Okay, we can export the data. We can do all of those things with this. Google Ads is another platform with Google. That's a whole other webinar, but I will tell you, this is another powerful tool in and of itself. And it has another advantage. Okay, the Google Ads can connect and communicate with the Google Analytics. Okay, so now you get a multiplier effect. Google Ads is a very, very interesting platform where you can go in and pretty much define your market segment, explore a marketing, a promotion, with a very, very small charge, and it gives you all the benefits of the measurement of that. One of the things I can tell you about Google Ads is that it is effective. We have clients here in the SBDC who use Google Ads religiously, and they pay next to nothing for this service. It's pennies. Okay? So, keep the Google Ads resource in mind as well. So why link to this Google Analytics? Because we can make smarter decisions. At the end of the day, that's the reason. Okay? We want to understand visitor behavior. Okay? And most specifically, we want to understand paid visitor behavior. Okay? And this platform can help us kind of learn what's working in our business, what we might need to improve. This will allow us to target specific users based on just their behavior. We can plug in the characteristics, and we can direct our efforts only to those targeted specific users. Okay? So these Google platforms are they're powerful, they're effective, and I can tell you that we actually do have clients who are using this, and they are making profitable decisions with it. Product linking, again, Google has a myriad of products, and they all link together. They're all interlocking. The processes vary a little bit, but it's all Google. Okay, it's all interlocking, and in this particular case with this Google Analytics platform, it is free of charge, and we recommend using it. And you can start off very light with this as well. We should. If you're not used to looking at a bunch of data and interpreting it, then you'll want to start off slow with this and get some help with it. Call the SBDC. We're fluent. We're pretty fluent in this. We have clients who are fluent in it. We can get the job done. Okay? But it's a lot. Just remember, it is a lot. Okay, so start out based on your, comfort level, your knowledge level, because this can really, really change a business. This is working smart. When we start to analyze data, we're working smart. Slight recap, we've covered a lot today. So let's just talk about maybe what we can and should do next. We, again, can't stress the importance of goals. You might already have goals for the business. You may or may not be measuring them. Now's probably a good time to pick back up on that goal sheet, and let's overlay Google Analytics, and let's see if we can get that goal going again. It's going to take, we'll look at it, we'll refine it, we'll make sure the definition's correct, okay, and then we'll plug in Google Analytics. We'll devise the questions that we need to ask to get to our goal, and then we'll go into the analytics. Remember those reports? And we will go in there and find the answers and see how we are doing on the goal. Okay? The questions are crucial. Okay? The questions have to be correct in order for the answers to be. Okay? And again, we can help you at the SBDC manage all of this. This is a quick lesson. Boy, if you really want to sharpen your business skills, this thing is called Primer. If you need any details on it, we can get them after the webinar. But again, this is just another app you can download to your phone. It's got a bunch of short, fun lessons. And by the way, this particular platform here has just got a bunch of fun lessons. Every one of them is just a couple minutes. They're all less than 5 minutes each. Okay? There are many supporting webinars once we do set up our account with Google Analytics. Okay, we can register for all types of webinars and virtual workshops. Here's a few other resources and online training tools for everyone from job seekers to, business developers. And all this is on the website when you start with Google Analytics. And with that, I must thank you for putting up with me. This has been it's really been a roller coaster ride, but between you and I, if you are in business or thinking about it, and you have a bent to really succeed in that business, and you're looking at, you may be having an obstacle or something like that, let's look at Google Analytics as a resource. Maybe we overlooked something. Maybe we were Eva and Ricky and we thought our audience was this, but they're really that. Okay? Plug into the SBDC. You can see our contact information there. And I always say, if all else fails, remember this. info@visbdc.org. That's an email. You can shoot it to us and say, just put, hey, I watched the analytics seminar. I need to talk to somebody. I got some questions. Okay? There's some phone numbers there. We are represented throughout the territory on all 4 islands. We are currently working remotely, but we are open. So with that, I would ask for any questions that someone might have, or any comments, thoughts, ideas, concerns that you may have. And I also have to apologize a little bit because I may have gone over a little bit. It's about 5 till, but we should still take some questions if you have any. Does anybody have any comments on anything? Does everyone think it went a little too fast, like me? It's a lot of information, okay? But actually, this is actually a Google webinar, and it's designed to be a little bit heavy on information. But that's why we want to keep that SBDC contact sheet up there. If you have any questions, if you sleep on it, if you're like me, you'll wake up tomorrow morning and you'll say, oh my goodness, why didn't I ask that during that webinar? So tomorrow, just email info@VISBDC and say, hey, I attended the analytics seminar. I didn't understand what you meant by segmentation. And we'll reach out to you and work with it. This is really exciting. It does not have to be, it doesn't have to look like it's something that's insurmountable. It's a lot of data, but you know what? Once we get to that 1, 2, 3, once we can start gleaning once we can do the analysis of the data and then get to that actionable insight, then we're really doing something. Data scares a lot of people. I would say, don't let it scare you. And you don't have to do it alone either. There are resources right here with the SBDC. So give us a call and let's do this analytics thing together. This is a great time to do it amidst COVID. This is a great time to analyze the business amidst COVID. I actually think it'll put money right on the bottom line. And with that, are there any questions, or do we have a chat box or a, oh yes, wait a minute.
Okay, so we don't have any questions, but what I can do is let the audience know what webinars we have coming up. So this evening we have the USVI EDA with the Farmers and Fishers Loan Program starting at 6 p.m. We also have on Tuesday, which is Webinar Tuesday, we have the SBA providing COVID-19 relief program updates, and that would be at 11 a.m. And then that evening, we also have the last webinar within our series, and that's the USVI Grow with Google, Launch Your Business with Customer-Focused Marketing. And that would be at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. So those are the webinars that we have coming up. I don't see any questions, but what I will say is visit our website at www.visbdc.org to register for upcoming webinars. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Google My Business, or download the VISBDC app from the Apple or Google Play Store for your personal device. So we don't have any questions. We want to thank you for your attendance, and this concludes our webinar. On behalf of the VISBDC, thank you so much for your attendance, and just reach out to us like Greg said, if you need help with anything else. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.